Imagine you've been randomly twisting a Rubik's Cube, hoping something works. But once someone shows you the actual patterns, suddenly it all makes sense.
Hi everyone, today we are going to create a very interesting Rubik's Cube animation. So, this animation will mainly focus on the design and will help you improve your fundamentals on matting. So, let's begin. As you can see in this animation, there are, these pillars and this Rubik's Cube. So, first we have to design, bring this, our reference video. And to make this as similar as possible, I'll just try to copy this. So to make that, simply I'll bring on my pen tool, make sure fill is selected. Let's delete the stroke. Now let's trace this. So it will be traced in three parts: first the top, then the left, and then the right. So let's make this. Now what I'm going to do is simply select these layer and head on to you know linear gradient. Then I'm just going to pull this handle to give this shading. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, you have got this. So now what I'm going to do is basically right click, new, solid, make sure it's white and bring it below these layers. Also you can see I've named them. Okay. So this will be the top, left and right part. Okay. And as you can see in the video, it's faded at the bottom. So first select these, Control Shift and C to pre-compose this, and let's rename this to pyramid. Hit OK. Now I'll just select the pen tool, select this pyramid, and now mask this part out. Select inverted and increase the feathering on this. Okay, so you get this feathered out. Okay, and now in the starting animation, you can see it is coming up. Okay, select this. Okay, hit P for first. I'll hit S to open scale, deselect this and increase this to make it more heightened. Now just simply I'll select this, bring it below. Okay, then hit on P for position, go ahead 1 second and take it a bit above. Select these two, F9, and then drag this towards the left. And now for the Rubik's Cube part, first we'll design it. So to design it, first what we are going to do is basically select our rectangle tool. Okay, and let's make this solid. Okay, make a perfect square by holding down shift, something like this, and make sure that fill is black. Okay, this will be our base. So rename this to Rubik outer main. Now what we are going to do is basically create small squares, okay, or rounded squares, and put them as part of the faces. Okay, so simply again select this. We're going to select rounded rectangle, and I'll just select red for now. You'll change the colors later. Make something like this. Hit Control Alt Home to bring the anchor point to the center. So I'll fast forward this section. What you have to do is basically create 9 small rounded squares like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. Okay, and give them different colors so as to represent a Rubik's cube. Okay, now you'll be getting something like this, which nicely represents a Rubik's cube. So what you have to do is now select all of this, okay, and parent and link it with our Rubik outer main. So what I have done is, as you can see, there are three tops. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. This is the top layer. Then middle layer, three middle, 1, 2, 3, and then bottom, 1, 2, 3. So three bottom, three middle, and three top. Always remember to name your layers so it will be easier when you are working with multiple layers. Okay, if they were all named shape layers, I would have been confused. Okay, so now let's move on to the next part, which is the animation. So let me see what happens. It comes down and starts, solving or, changing colors. Okay, like this, rotating. First, what we are going to do is basically select this, hit P for position, hold and shift R for rotation. And what I'm going to do is basically rotate it a bit. As you can see, it's, rotated a bit and then it becomes straight. So I'll bring this on top over here. Go at the start, hit P for position and rotation. Go towards the 1 second mark. Then let's bring it down over here and let's fix the rotation. Okay, like this. Select this, F9, and then drag this towards the left. So you get this animation. Now for the rotation part, as you can see over here, what happens is it's rotating. So to make that, simply just after it comes down over here, first I'll rotate the top one. So I'll just select these three. Okay, so it comes down, and from here I'll simply select P for position. Okay, click on the position keyframes, go ahead 1 second and simply drag these out like this. Okay, but as you can see, these all are coming out. Okay, so we don't want this to happen. There is a very simple fix, and here is where the matting part comes into play. So first let's smoothen this out. Okay, and now I'll just simply hit Control D on top of this. Okay, to make copies. So this will be top 3, 4, 5. Select these three, hit U to open this, and this will come from the left side. So I'll just select this part and drag this over here. Okay, and at the last keyframe, it will come inside here. Okay, now simply what I'll do is change the colors. So as we want this to be different, I'll select this. I'll select this yellow and I'll select top 4. Okay, change the fill to green. Okay, and then select the center one and change the color to orange. Okay, like this. But now we want this to be inside the cube, so select all the layers, okay, except the Rubik outer main. Select all the layers except Rubik outer main, and then click this toggle switches mode. And now we have to simply track mat this to Rubik outer main. So now you can see, remember to enable the eye icon on the Rubik outer main after track matting, and you can see over here there is a change. Okay, rotation. Now what happens is, when you have track matted all your layers to this Rubik outer main, whatever part is track matted to this, whenever it goes out, it will disappear. Okay, so as you can see, when these part were previously going out, it was appearing in this area. Okay, when it was not matted. But now as we have track matted it, when this part is going out, it is disappearing. Okay, so like this we will create different. Okay, now let's rotate this part. Okay, so select this and then something from the middle and then from the bottom. Okay, these three. So after this, I'll select these three, hit P for position. Go ahead, 1 second, and this time simply I'll just rotate them down. Okay, as you can see, it is disappearing. I'll select these, F9. Okay, I'll select this two and F9. Okay, now I'll select this whole pair and then drag this. Okay, to get this smooth animation. And now we have to bring the next layer and then I'll hit Control D to copy this. So bottom 4, middle 4 and top 6. Okay, now I'll bring them top. Okay, so now I'll select these three, hit U. Okay, and what happens? First, I'll simply select this part and drag them out over here. Then at the end part, simply put it inside. Okay, so you get this animation again. Okay, and this time we have to again change the colors. So I'll select this. Okay, select white, select this, also select white, and now select the bottom one, and this time I'll select this yellow. Okay, now it totally depends on you on how many times you want to rotate this. Okay, so if you see the original video, he has rotated it around 3 to 4 times, I think 4 times. Okay, so you can rotate it from the middle and from here also. So this will be the basic principle on how you do the rotation animation of the Rubik's cube. And now for the next part. Okay, as you can see, there is a bit of subtle movement to this. So what we can do is basically select this, hit P. Okay, while holding Alt, click on this stopwatch icon and let's type wiggle and give the value 1 comma 10. So if you zoom it in, you can see that there is a bit of subtle movement to this. Okay, Rubik's cube as if it is floating in the air. Okay, something like that. What we'll be doing is now this animation, this will come in. Okay, and then these arrows will come out. So this is another trick for matting. Okay, so let's first make this. Okay, so to make that, head on to our rounded rectangle tool and then let's make something like this. Okay, make sure to make it bigger than this. Okay, delete the fill, enable stroke. Okay, and I'll make the stroke gray. Okay, as you can see, rename this to gray outline scan. Okay, then hit Control D to copy this, hit S and then make it smaller. Okay, just a bit smaller. Okay, something like this. And this time we'll select this and somewhere around this color I'll select this. Okay, and now again I'll hit Control D and this time I'll add on to fill and select this color, hit T and reduce the opacity to something like this. Okay, what we have to do is select all of this and pre-compose it, and let's rename this to X-ray. Okay. Now the next part will be, okay, creating this same thing, okay, meaning the same shape as this, this one, the last shape which you created and reduced opacity. So I'll just hit Control C, copy it by going inside the pre-compose layer, okay, and then paste it outside. Let's, hit T and increase the opacity to 100. Put this over here. Okay, now the next part will be to rename this to matte layer. Okay, so we remember that this will be our matte layer and put it below this. Now simply just parent link our matte layer to our X-ray layer. So if I move the X-ray, the matte will also move. Okay, simple as that. Now let's keep this aside. And if you see over here, when this comes inside, there are these shapes. These have become dark, okay, dark green, okay, something like that. Okay, this. So to create this design, simply what we have to do is just these 9, okay, just select 9 cubes and then just Control C to copy this and create a new composition and simply just paste it over here. Okay, hit U and basically just delete these keyframes because we don't need these keyframes, we just need the design. Okay, now select one and like this one, okay, and then right click, layer styles, and then we can select over here inner glow, open inner glow, make this to normal, select this and let's make this green, light green, and increase the size. Okay, to get this I'll just select this, okay, and make it even darker, okay, something like this. Now simply what you have to do is basically copy this layer styles, select all of them and paste it on all of them. Now select, okay, just copy this. Now select the next one and paste. Okay, basically make them all the same color. So you can do directly select all of them and hit OK. So I know this is a bit of different color, okay, but you get the idea, okay, something like this, okay. Just if you want to copy exactly, just everything will be there in the description folder. You can copy the color code and do it, okay. Now simply copy all these things, okay, and bring it to our main layer over here, okay, just paste it. Now after bringing them in, just simply select all of them too and parent and link with it, the parent and link with the Rubik's outer main, okay. So as you can see, it's moving all together. If I deselect this, okay, you can see there is this over here. Now remember we made the matte layer, okay. Now basically select our track matte and of X-ray and do it with matte layer, okay. Now another thing we have to do is select all of this, okay, all the green ones which you just made, and now mat this with our matte layer, okay. Now if you see this, okay, if I move this inside, you will see that you will get this, but if I move it outside, okay, you will see that it is not there, Okay, as simple as that. Okay, so after it rotates over here, this will come in and then this. So as you can see in the video, okay, it comes in and then these, arrows are there. So to do those arrows, it is also very simple. First we'll do the animation. So it comes in, okay, to keep this outside for now, rotates, and then you can do 2 3 more rotations, and finally select this, hit P for position, go ahead and make this come inside, select this F9, and then drag this towards the left. Okay, you can add a bit of rotation to this also. And what we can do is what we did with our this layer, the Rubik's outer main, is simply open this or just copy this, our wiggle animation, and do the same thing. Hold Alt and click on this stopwatch icon and paste this. Okay, so this will also have that subtle movement. And now for the arrow part, okay, so it will go inside. And then for the arrow part, what we can do is basically I'll show you by doing some arrows. Make this white. Okay, and then I'll just select these two, Control Shift C, and rename this to arrow 1. Simply parent and link it with, again, Rubik outer main. Okay, everything is parent and linked with that. Now you can just hit Control D, copy this, put it over here. Okay, I'll bring the anchor point by holding Y to the center of this. Hit R for rotation and rotate it towards the right. Okay. Now similarly, I'll hit Control D again, put it over here, and R for rotation. And if you want to do more arrows, okay, you can do it. But now for the animation, so it comes up from below or above, okay, whatever the animation is. So I'll just select all of them. Okay, when it comes in over here, hit P, position keyframe, go ahead, again position keyframe, go to the start. Now I'll select this and drag this out, select this, drag this over here, select this and drag it out. Okay, now F9 and drag this towards the left. But we want this animation where in the start it doesn't show in which box it is. Okay, head on to toggle switches mode, select this arrow, okay, and select this box, okay, from where it is originating, the arrow. So yeah, this one it is. Now simply track mat it with this green top 2 and hit the eye icon. So now I'll enable this, invert the mat. Okay, so when it comes out it will be like this. Okay, so when it is in this box it is not showing, but when it is in this box it is showing. Okay, I'll do the same thing now. Now I'll find the second arrow, okay, and then I'll again put this on green top 2 and again invert this. Okay, so this will be the animation. And for this one, or the last one, what we are going to do is select this, and I think this is bottom. Okay, yeah, this one, last one. So I'll select this, okay, and put it over here, enable this, and as you can see, you've got this animation. You can also put glow on it. Okay, it is your wish. Okay, how you want to design it. So our animation will look something like this. Okay, and finally what happens is when it goes out, it becomes all one color. So somewhere around here, I'll just select this, hit P for position, go ahead and remove this out. And you know, when this goes out, as you can see, when it is going out, it is still remaining, but we want it to go out with this. So after, it's over here, I'll just hit select these, Control Shift D, okay, to cut it from here and bring them on top, and rename this to cut arrow. Okay, just bring these three below the matte layer over here and track matte it with our matte layer. Okay, so we'll get this animation, and when this goes out, change all these colors. So can do is basically simply just select from the bottom till here. Okay, don't select the green ones, and hit Alt and right bracket to cut this. Okay, now simply just hit copy and then new composition and paste everything over here. Okay, make sure to delete these. Okay, we need only these 9. Select all, hit U and delete the end keyframes. Okay, delete all the keyframes, and now there's only one thing which you have to do is select all of them and make them green. Okay, copy them, head on to our comp and paste it. Okay, I'll make it a compound clip and then just hit Y, bring this anchor point towards the center, R for rotation, and fill in this area. Okay, something like this. Just bring this below. Okay, something like this, and again parent and link with our outer main. Okay, so you get this animation. So let's see the whole animation. So with this, we have completed the Rubik's Cube animation. Hope you learned something new from this video. See you in the next.